Hello and welcome. My name is Nathan Windsor. I'll be guiding us through the install of Menlo 1 TownHall on your local IPFS node. So TownHall is a really cool product. Menlo functions basically as a Kickstarter, a decentralized Kickstarter for ICOs, where users can interact and upvote or downvote comments, and they'll pay a Menlo token to be able to do that. And those tokens go into a pool, and the projects pay for access to influencers on the Menlo network. And so users get to collect Menlo tokens for their valuable contributions. So the first step is to install a bunch of prerequisites. You're gonna need Brave or Chrome, and you're gonna need the following stuff. So Go and IPFS. So make sure you install your Go paths in the correct location. There are a bunch of YouTube tutorials on this if you don't know how. You could just Google it. So then Go and IPFS, NVM and Node, a GitHub account with SSH keys, a MetaMask wallet with private key imported. We'll go over that. Also Brew and Yarn. And if you run into weird local issues with Truffle, this is the command to reset, which we'll include in the comments. So let's get started. So here's where you install Brew. And this IPFS command we're going to use a little later. So when IPFS and Yarn are sort of set up. So let's just leave that alone for right now. So we're going to take the private key here and import it into our MetaMask. So you hit import and then paste your private key. Now we've already imported it into this wallet, so it's already here. So that's this account too. So we have a bunch of playtest ether. Now we're going to skip number 1, but you should, if you don't have NVM and Node installed, make sure you do that. So here we go. Okay, so while this goes on, our next step is we're going to install the dependencies. So we're going to go into the TownHall directory and we're going to install Yarn. Okay, so this takes a little while, so we're going to do some other things. So we also want to run a local development blockchain in a separate window. We're going to skip that for right now, but in the meantime we could launch the IPFS daemon because we're still loading. So here we go. Okay, cool. The IPFS daemon is ready. Okay, cool. So Yarn's all set up. Now that IPFS is running, we're going to run this command up here, and Yarn is installed. So we're going to run this command, yarn run Menlo setup. So now we have a Menlo specific IPFS version. Cool. Now we're going to run a Truffle development blockchain. Okay, you can copy these down if you want. They're the same every time, and we really won't be interacting with these at this time. So IPFS is running. Now we're going to do this command inside of the TownHall repo. Cool, and it's compiling. Okay, great. Now we're going to do yarn start. And it's going to give us, it's going to prompt you for localhost 3000. Now, the important thing to do is the next part of the directions are to navigate to your local host, and here's where we're going to import this local address into our MetaMask account. So if you haven't already done that, you want to go here, and you just want to add a custom RPC. So you paste the address here and click save. By the way, resetting the account, if you have errors with sending transactions, this is where you do it. So we're going to navigate to, navigate back. Okay. So now you should see a bunch of free money in this account because it's all development money. So cool. Now we're set up with MetaMask, and booyah, here we go. So as you can see, this is not exactly an amazing design, but it functions and it's really cool. Now the thing to realize about this is that there are going to be some, this is really manual right now, but the fact that this functions at all is actually good news because there are a lot of blockchain products out there that have no functionality whatsoever. So by the way, also on your browser, there might be, depending on how your Chrome or Brave is set up, you might need to toggle your shields up and down. Let's just leave it down for right now. But that might, excuse me, that's a consideration for you depending on what you're blocking on your browser. Okay, so let's pretend like we're creating an ICO. So let's do like the Apple ICO. Cool. So hit send. Now what happens is nothing, but up here, there's a pop-up on the MetaMask. And now this is not actually going to be the case in the live production product, but as this is development, and this is how it's going to work. So it's going to be a little bit manual right now. But in the Brave browser, it's sort of under the hood, and even Steam. So it'll look and function more like those products. Okay, so we want to send this transaction, and we're going to submit it. Now, if you're receiving an error verifying message, we should probably reset our account. So let's do that. Cool, so there's no transaction history. Let's refresh. So Apple ICO. Submit. Booyah. Okay, now we submitted the transaction, it went through, and now it appears as a message. So you'll also notice there are plus and minus icons. So let's say I think that the Apple ICO will be a great idea. So I'll just click plus, and it prompts MetaMask with another transaction to approve, and we hit submit, and there you go. So now you can see that, oh, these are authenticated votes. So the cool thing about this is that we know that people are basically using their tokens to vote on projects. And you'll be able to track who these people are, even if it's pseudonymous. You can set up your account to be anonymous or public, or however you'd like to set it up. But in either case, these will be authenticated votes. Let's say we don't like it, so we're going to downvote it. And this helps prevent spam and sort of trolls. So here we go, we're going to submit that transaction, and now it's been downvoted. You can also, let's do a Windows ICO, and it's going to display the top 5 messages. Cool. Now, in future videos, we'll go over some cool other features like lottery and how we can adjust some of the smart contracts settings to sort of play around with these messages up here. But as a functioning product goes, this is really cool because you get to see the sort of bone structure of Menlo and what this is how this is going to function in the near future. So I'm really excited about this. You can find us in Telegram and hit us up on social media. We'd be glad to answer any questions. Thanks so much for your time.